climbing, did some rappelling, some bungee jumping. You know, I like riding bicycles with my son. I love being with my son. I love going to church, and I love my God. Now, anywhere in that stuff that I just got done saying, did you hear I say I love politics? No, you didn't, because I hate it. I hate politics. Politics is drama and gossip. If you want drama and gossip, turn on Days of Our Lives. You know, that's what politics is. Now, the reason why I say that, because there's a lot of things I love, and there's a lot of places I'd much rather be tonight, as would all of you all, but unfortunately our country's in trouble because of our inactivity, because of our laziness. A lot of people want to blame politicians for it, and that's silly. Politicians screw you, that's what they do. Okay? Bottom line. Politicians is pretty much synonymous with liars, crooks, and thieves, right? That's what we've learned, so why do you keep voting for the same guy? That's what I want to understand. For the last 40, 50 years, why do we vote for the same guy? Why is John McCain in office after 15, 20 years of the same thing? Why is Lieberman in office? Why is Blavakovich? That's a big joke itself. Why is Olympia Snow from Maine still in office? Why we keep on electing these people, and we want to blame our term limits. You're the term limit. You're the American. That is your job. Term limits. Term limits just means you get to be lazy and not educated, not informed. Term limits, that keeps you from doing your job as an American. Term limits ain't the answer. Term limits is just a safety net for you when you get lazy. That's what term limits are. That's what got us into this mess. I'm sorry, I get angry real quick when people want to be lazy. Anyways, what it comes down to, listen, I talk around the country. I talk to a lot of tea parties, a lot of 912 groups, a lot of just independent places where people want to get together and talk about being Americans. And that's what I like to do, because those are the only two labels in the world that I'm interested in right now, is being an American and being a Christian. Those are the only two labels I like. And since I got the microphone and you don't, I can talk about God all night long. You didn't know you were coming to Sunday school tonight, did you? Now listen, I can't give enough credit to God. I love God. God is the most incredible thing to me in the world. I love being a Christian. I love the fact that I can talk about it. Now a lot of people get real scared about that because that's kind of morals, values, social issues. That's what I talk about. It's not my job to teach you guys about cap and trade. AFP does, and they do a good job about it. It's not my job to tell you about global warming and that it's a farce, but it's up to you to learn that. That's not my job. It's not my job to tell you all about health care. Again, that is your job. That is your job as Americans to learn about that. My job tonight, like I said, I want to convict you. I want to talk about some serious things. I want to talk about basic principles. I want to talk about individual responsibility. That seems to be a bad word these days. Individual responsibility. Everyone's passing the buck. Everybody is passing the buck. And why not? We learn it from our political leaders. We learn it from our sports heroes. All we hear all the time is, it's not my job. My staff did that. I thought she was 19 years old. That's all we hear. That's all our children hear. All they're learning is to pass the buck. Let someone else take the fall for it. Do not take the responsibility. Do not take the blame. There are no consequences to one actions. That's what we teach in this country. That's got to stop. You can learn all the things you want in the world. You can get together all as much as you want. But until we actually start talking about responsibility again, we're not going to get a whole lot of anywhere. We need to preach responsibility and being responsible. Being responsible and no term limits. Being responsible Americans and doing our jobs and becoming educated, and stop making very, very important decisions off of 3-minute sound bites and a 30-second commercial where some guy or girl's up there saying how great they are and how bad they are. We need to get informed, education. Responsibility, it's the key. Accountability goes right along with responsibility. We don't hold anybody accountable anymore. Think about it, for example. You guys remember Chris Dodd? Okay. Well, for 2 weeks he lied to us. Bald-faced lied to us and said he did not write into the paperwork for AIG to get their bonuses. Do you guys remember that? Okay. Yeah, he did. And about 2 weeks later he came out after it became apparent that he did, and he couldn't lie about it anymore. He said, yeah, I did it, so what? And that's his attitude, because no one holds him accountable. You'll hold a plumber accountable. You'll hold the guy at McDonald's for putting pickles on your burger accountable. But you won't hold the guy that's spending trillions of your dollars accountable. It doesn't make sense. Like I said, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here just to talk about some common practical sense. I'm about as average as everyday Joe as you'll get. I'm not a millionaire because everyone knows who I am now. I live paycheck to paycheck just about like every other American does right now. You know, I'm up here right now because I have a voice. I have a platform given to me because I dared ask somebody a question. I did my job as an American. It's absurd I became famous for doing my job. Barack Obama, John McCain, Sean Hannity, you name them all, they put their pants on just like you and I do. I don't feel special because I talked to one of them. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I was giving him a job interview. This man, who my parents, my grandparents, great-great-grandparents, all served in the military and have some of them died protecting it, providing you your rights, wanted to run my country, the one that I grew up in, the one that I love more than anything in the world, and I wanted to know why he think he had that right. That's why I asked that question. You know, why he thought it was okay to tax people that make $250,000 or more. Because it's wrong. It's wrong. Bottom line, it's wrong. Just because someone's successful, just because someone's worked harder than you have, you don't penalize them for it. That's not what America was built on. You know, the pursuit of happiness. They didn't say there was a ceiling. You know, become as rich and poor as you want. But that's up to you. Individual responsibility, that word again. You know, that's why I talk about principles. It has nothing about the issues. You guys have to learn that. So we have to hold these guys accountable. We don't hold anybody accountable anymore. That's the lesson that we teach our children. You know, presidents can get away from lying. You know, governors can get away with lying. Senators, congressmen, sports heroes all get away with lying. That's what we're teaching our children. That's what's coming up right now. They think, well, I won't have any responsibilities and I'm not going to be held accountable. Because that's what we teach as a society. That's got to change. You know, again, I don't care who's here and who hates it, but we got to get back to God. That's where it's going to make the change at. That's where we make our change at, is with God. Now, let me back up for a second. I'm not perfect. I sin. I'm a redneck. Come on. I do some bad things sometimes, but I do my best to do what's right. I work hard to do what's right. That is my job. I got to lead by example, and so I have a beautiful 15-year-old son is the reason why I'm here tonight, not for you guys. I don't know you guys. I mean, quite frankly, you're not here because of me. Well, maybe some of you wanted to see the novelty or whatever you want to assume that I am. But you're here because you want to change your country. You're here because you want to share ideals. I'm here because I have a 15-year-old son that I want to make sure has the same opportunities that I've had growing up. That's why I'm here. Nothing personal. I'm sure you guys are some good people, but I'm here because of my son. That's why I'm here. Now, we've got responsibility, accountability. We have to hold these guys accountable. Now, just a side note here. Remember when Chris Dodd said, yeah, I did it, so what? What happened? No, nothing happened. You're absolutely right. But mainstream media, and by the way, my name is Samuel Joseph Wurzelbacher, and I'll tie that in, because no one thinks my name is Joe. I go by my middle name. A lot of people do. I am a licensed plumber. I was licensed in the United States Air Force, and I taught plumbing all over the country. I taught other airmen. I was not licensed in the state of Ohio, never did I say so. The reason why I'm mentioning this now is because mainstream media came up and got our attention off of Chris Dodd. Yeah, I did it, so what? Somalia pirates came out of nowhere. Somalia pirates. Pirates have been around for a couple hundred years. They came out of nowhere. Protected Dodd is essentially what happened. They diverted our attention, which they do on a regular basis. Somalia pirates came out of nowhere, and we couldn't talk about Chris Dodd anymore. Shoot him, sink him, be done with it, get back to the issue at hand is what I said. You know, politically incorrect, yes, I know. But then we couldn't go back to Chris Dodd, because as soon as we got done with the pirate situation, which was terrible, we had to go back to how immoral it is to torture terrorists that want to kill Americans. Don't get that one. You realize everybody in the military is someone's mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin? You know, I'll torture every last damn terrorist in the world if it's going to save American lives. I love my country.